Hey YouTube, Coppersan here. 6th job is coming in 66 days on the 15th of November, and I need to get my characters in the best shape possible so that we can instantly enjoy all the new content. And I figured out I'll probably not be the only one working on that, so I want to start this small series where once a week we go over the process and share tips and tricks to all reach our goals together. 6th job is going to shift your attention completely away from the Arcane River, and instead it will shift to Grandis, which will have some disadvantages if you don't prepare well. For this series I'll be focusing on my main, a level 262 Shade, and my newest character Kane, who is still getting to level 260. Even though the levels are close, they still are at different stages of the game, which will hopefully be useful for you. I'll be covering progression, leveling, and content that is recommended before the big patch hits in November and the meta evolves again. But before we're diving into all of that, we're first quickly gonna go over today's video sponsor, Awesome. These sponsorships help keep the channel going, and your support is always greatly appreciated. For some reason, my boss doesn't really like it when I play MapleStory during work. I know, weird right? But I still want to complete those dailies and get those login rewards. Thankfully, I never miss a beat with this all-in-one remote access tool. Using the Awesome Game version, I can get and customize a game keyboard so I can play MapleStory from my phone without any disturbances. And of course, the usability doesn't just end there. You can also use remote access to transfer files that you forgot to send, or even turn off your PC in case you want to save money on that electricity bill. If you want to try this out yourself, you can use the code appearing on the screen to get a 7-day trial of Awesome Remote Game. This is only for the first 200 people, so act quickly. Head over to the Awesome website, sign in, click on rewards, fill out the code, and then you're in. You can then easily set up your screen mirroring with your QR code, and once that ends, just using the app will reward you with Sunshine, which can be used to get more days of Awesome Game or Awesome Pro. Sometimes Awesome also offers additional days for free just like that, so that's always nice to grab. The basic version of Awesome is free, by the way, so you can always install that one. But there also is the Pro and Game Plan. I'm using the Game Plan myself for the customizable keyboard. Adding more devices also will give you a discount on the plan. But Awesome doesn't just offer remote software, they even have remote switches. In case you turned off your PC and want to turn it back on remotely or monitor your energy consumption, you can even set timers and schedules. You can check the Awesome app or website if you want to learn more about those, and of course the remote software tool itself. There is a link in the video description and top comment. Don't forget to check out the code, and now back to the video. The 6th job advancement will introduce a whole new system to MapleStory, with new skills and buffs to your existing skills. To upgrade these new 6 job skills and skill buffs, you're going to be needing a new resource called Sol Erda and Sol Erda Fragments. Mid and endgame bosses will start dropping something called Erda Energy. The more difficult the boss, the more items can drop. And hunting monsters in Sacred Forest areas in Grandis is also a way to collect Sol Erda Fragments and Sol Erda Energy, similar to how you can find nodestones and arcane symbols in the Arcane River from the monsters over there. Collecting 1000 Sol Erda Fragments will grant you 1 Sol Erda. So as you can imagine, you'll be needing to spend a lot of time either bossing, defeating Hard Lotus and higher difficulty bosses, or grind a lot in the authentic force areas in Grandis. And that's why I'm focusing on the familiar system first right now. And if you are also playing in Reboot, I highly urge you to do the same. Because of the shift in meta, you're going to be at a disadvantage when it comes to the familiar system, as the monsters in the higher level Grandis areas do not drop familiar cards. So if you don't have some decent familiars yet, you're going to be grinding for those later, outside of Grandis, where you won't find any Sol Erda Fragments, which will hinder your 6th job progression quite a lot. Of course, unless Nexon adds familiars to Grandis, and they probably won't because, you know, Nexon, so you're going to be missing out if you don't focus on this right now. Familiars can give you a huge boost in IED, boss damage, they can provide healing which almost nullifies some boss mechanics, making bosses like Will and Vihila a lot easier, and it can provide a big boost in drop rate so you can farm those Sol Erda Fragments even faster. You want to focus on this now before 6th job is released, because else you'll be stuck in Limina grinding up familiars while everyone else is getting their 6th job resources. I myself was never really focusing on this content much, to be honest, as it's very tedious to grind the familiar system in Reboot. In the regular server you can purchase red cards that can reroll the potential familiars, but this is not the case in Reboot. So the usual process is that you first take a rare blue familiar from the monsters that you're hunting, fuse the other familiars with it until it hits the max, summon the familiar and then start killing monsters until it reaches level 5. This doesn't take too long, and I recommend doing this with 3 familiars at the same time. Once you'll reach the max, you can rank them up and repeat this process until you get a unique familiar. This is the annoying part though, as you cannot reroll the stats of your familiar in Reboot. You're going to have to keep getting more and more unique familiars. You have to rank everything up, reveal the unique ones, and then just hope that you get some decent stats. It's not a fun process, but it will help your character tremendously if you get lucky with your familiars, of course. Besides focusing on this system, it's also important to get as strong as possible. Here's a breakdown of how many Sol Erda fragments bosses give. Quite a lot, right? So you want to get strong enough to actually take on these bosses before the 6th job is released. This is also going to be a huge grind, especially for me, as I have 2 characters that I want to get ready and limited free time. In Reboot, the best way to get mesos quick is through bossing. So this might sound cheesy, but make sure to boss as much as possible and grow your bossing mules as much as you can. This all depends on where you are in your progress, of course, but clearing all the bosses between Hardhilla and Keosakum is already an easy 500 million every week, which is a big win if you invest in your bossing mule, especially on multiple. I have like 3 bossing mules that can clear up to normal Lotus and Damien, and 2 that can clear up to Chaos Vellum, which is already a good chunk of mesos. It beats out grinding for mesos at least, especially if you don't have that much time to actually play MapleStory. Next, evaluate your character and see where you can still make the most growth. I personally really despise star forcing, but it is the main source of your character's growth these days, and I don't really have any excuse anymore to not do it. So I'll be live streaming again somewhere next week once the heat dies down, so you can all see me blowing up my items with the limited funding that I have. It's gonna be a great time, trust me. No, but seriously, cubing and flaming, that's great and all, but Star Force, that's where the real gains are made. I just wish that Nexon would fix my Shade's burst skill. That would also be a tremendous help to my damage, actually. So to quickly go to my other character, Kane, because I'm focusing on familiars, I don't spend a lot of time grinding on this character, but I do make sure to at least do my dailies and complete the 6-star missions. These all give about 5% worth of EXP a day, which will help me to slowly level up to level 260. We got about 9.5 weeks left before it actually is released, so there's plenty of time. Just doing your dailies, Monster Park, 6-star, it will stack up over time. Plus this character can still get some good gains from leveling its arcane symbols. Next episode I'll cover more of the grinding aspect to make sure that you make the most out of your time. Besides that, I also finally got my Absolab cape, which now completes this gear set, so I can then start focusing on Arcane, but first we need to Star Force all this stuff to 17. But again, first I want to focus on the main, so like I said, Mesos is gonna be quite a bit of a problem, but that's gonna be something for future me to figure out. That's all I had for today. I hope you enjoyed, I hope you are ready to progress alongside with me. If you have any tips, tricks yourself, or stuff that you would like me to mention in the next video, make sure to also let me know. Thank you all so much for watching, and as always, special thanks to our members for making these videos possible. Special thanks to Niels de Coninck, Raar maar waar, Sebastian Hanoy, Jesus Rodriguez, Mora, Wiley, Riser Are BackSpaceOTI, Ziggy Historycanon, Saffronyx, Flidiot, Knifesu, Cloudfix, Surtito655, Michael Menchaca, Rathius, Afterlord, Betrayal1489, Silvio Nato, Striker Elk, Tidal 1 Fun, Victor Sundstrom, Mathias Simonsson, Mr. Anark, Ben on Games, The Passenger, Kani Wu, Max Bernhardt, Mukau1017, BNB King, Scotty Flies Fast, Gabriel Eck, Fecko, Vake Botnet, Dante Victory, Mathinu Def, Snack HBG, Only, Lord Vasil, Spats the Kaiser, That Archer Guy, Louis Bento Brandau, Snuffle Pop, Tails Curspet, The Wolf Drake, Gaber Wolf, Live Love MapleStory, Kali, Duckfoos, Quinn, Migu and Mark Set. Thank you all so much for watching. Stay safe and happy mapling!